Which guy?
So as the 125s come out of Melbourne Loop, lights off of the pace car. So we will be going for start this time. The second championship race of this weekend, and on that front row is the one kart reigning champion of Liam Morley, and the e-kart, the English champion of Lee Harpham, who dropped out that race yesterday. And lights on. Slow first gear rolling, very slow first gear rolling. Lights out, away we go. It is Morley that gets a jump. Kurt Cattermole got an absolute shocker and has got swamped by everybody. But it's Morley that leads them down to Redgate with Harpham and Chris Needham looking up the inside. But Harpham that slots into that second place. It looks like Matt Robinson up into third ahead of Chris Needham. But it's the one kart that has got the jump on everybody. So Liam Morley after that disappointing result yesterday, but as they stream down through Craner curves and into the old hairpin, and Lee Harpham goes up the inside, I think that was at the old hairpin to take the lead as they go up through the Schwantz curve. And yes, it is the e-kart with Morley side by side as they come into McLean's, but it's Harpham from Morley with Matt Robinson there tucked in there in third spot. 63 kart of Jones giving chase. Jones, one of our visitors from Ireland, and the 5 kart Cattermole trying to make up places after that poor start, but as they come down towards the Fogarty S's for this first time, and it's side by side, but it's Harpham, the e-kart, that holds that top spot, and again, similar to yesterday, there's a problem for Harpham as he comes out of the Fogarty S's, exactly the same as yesterday, so loses that lead and allows Morley to take over at the front from the 4 kart of Matt Robinson. It's Chris Needham, Sam Moss, 31, well up there this time, chased by the 6 kart of Andrew Connor. So disaster again for the e-karts of Lee Harpham, but as they come out this time, it's Morley, it's Robinson, Needham, Moss, Andrew Connor, then it looks like it is Noel Brennan up into 6th spot ahead of Tim King, Ialada. Kurt Cattermole now to 9th place from Anderson Chilcott, and Brian Jones there in 11th.
Noel Brennan, son of Johnny Brennan, up there in 6th position, and the 111 kart. Brian Jones has appeared today. I took Brian out yesterday actually. Brian comes from Scarva and County Down, and a very quick man at home, races 250 as well on 2.5, and I don't know where he was yesterday. Maybe I had just mechanical problems, but I didn't notice Brian yesterday at all.
Just to see, yeah, the start of the set results from yesterday. Where did Brian? Yeah, 11th place yesterday. So,
was he? I just missed him yesterday.
Yeah, 11th spot.
Not bless me for that, mind you.
Similar position that he is in today, but yes, and Phil Rowland's 25 car off of the, that looks like the exit of the old hairpin. Not a good place to drag it out of the gravel track, and not an ideal place to leave that car. So I'm afraid that there's going to be yellow flag going down there, but and as they come of the Melbourne Loop, and where has the one kart gone of Liam Morley? Has Liam Morley had a similar problem, because it is now the 4 kart again of Matt Robinson. Yesterday's winner takes the lead, and then it's battle for second place between Chris Needham and Sam Moss. Sam Moss closes up onto the back of the bumper of Chris as they go down towards Redgate, and no, Sam sits there on the tail of 35. Didn't get a chance to speak to Chris this morning, so I wonder if he's actually managed to get that quicker motor of his, the IAMI, back into that chassis, or whether he's still using the SGM yesterday. But disaster again for 2 of our front runners, Lee Harpham and again Liam Morley, the one kart disappearing on this lap. It was a problem, I think, with the electrics or the battery yesterday that seemed to blow a couple of fuses and other bits and bobs on the one kart, but they weren't 100% sure what the problem was. But disaster so for some jinx for Liam Morley has extended, but
he may not have resolved it then, but look at things.
So
electrical problems usually need to rip the whole system out.
So good scrap there between Tim King. Changed engines for this new engine this weekend, running the TM Motors previously, but lying there in 6th spot. But, Matt Robinson starting to stretch the lead at the front, and Andrew Connor, the 6th car, closing up onto the back of Sam Moss, and has a little look up the inside going into Melbourne Loop, and it's side by side on the exit, and then it's Kurt Cattermole that's now got up ahead of Tim King. 5 karts is on a charge, and it's side by side with Tim King as they come into Goddard's for the first time, and disrespected Tim, but you don't want to be on the outside of Kirk, and it was chopping across on the exit, and it's Cattermole, it's King, it's Ian Larder, it's Noel Brennan, and Lee Harpham back out on circuit. Now Lee Harpham dropped back to what, 9th place now, so are we going to see a drive through from Lee Harpham? Has he managed to resolve that problem from yesterday? Chris Needham sets the fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:37.033. But Robinson's got that leader for just over half a second.
As I see, Brennan lost 3 positions on that last lap, whatever happened to Noel.
Well, he's in with that scrap. Yeah, it's the Cattermole, King, Larder and Noel Brennan on that scrap. But as we see, Sam Moss with close attentions from the 6 karts of Andrew Connor as they go up towards the Coppice double right-hander.
Yes, Connor inherited 3rd position yesterday and was going very steadily and well on the sort of a lonely road in 3rd, but he's got company today.
That's right. So
there's plenty of company back behind him, aren't you?
Side by side as they momentarily come down towards us, and it looks as if Chris Needham was close onto the back of Matt Robinson as they came through the lessons, and Sam Moss seems to have shaken off Andrew Connor momentarily. It's Ian Larder, no, that's Lee Harpham has now gone up into head of Tim King, so Lee Harpham back on a charge, so whatever that misfire problem was earlier on has now got past 3 karts ahead of him. But it's Robinson from Chris Needham, the 4 kart from the 35, Sam Moss there in 3rd place ahead of Andrew Connor, then it's Kurt Cattermole, and it's always scrap, and Tim King lining up Harpham as they go down towards Red Gates, and 94 on the inside line, but the experienced English champion Lee Harpham sweeps across and holds on to that 6th spot. And I'm just looking at the time, so Moss set a personal best that time, Matt Robinson set a personal best that time, but the quickest driver that time round was Chris Needham. So is he going to be able to close that gap onto the back of Matt Robinson as they go through the Schwantz curve and up towards McLean's? And it certainly visibly looks close this time, so Chris Needham, 35 kart, looking to get a victory in this one with still 7.5 to go, but nose to tail as they come onto the exhibition strut.
Top 6 all day in 1:37, going on the 2nd fastest hold in that time was Cattermole, only fraction behind Chris Needham, so you know if they were all together, shall we say, at the front of the grid, a really colossal scrap. There is a great scrap between that group of 4. You're typically 2-5 racing, but I don't think they'll make much more progress to the group ahead of them.
Lee Harpham managed to break away from that group 9, so let's watch out for the
That is his chance, yeah.
And the 5 car, they've got a little bit of clear space in front of them, so we'll monitor the gap, but this dice for the lead between...
With 7 minutes almost to go, yeah, he might stand a chance of getting a 1 more position back, perhaps.
So
there's our leaders again. Needham is inching closer and closer every lap to Robinson. It's only 0.3 of a second.
Chris Needham sets another fastest lap of the race that time round, so a 36.589, just a 1/10 of a second quicker than Robinson's, inch by inches.
That's how he's doing.
Coming up onto the back of that bumper of that Anderson car.
2.5 back to Moss, and then this group are battling still.
So it's Harpham still ahead of Tim King and Ian Larder, and Noel Brennan sitting there nicely in 9th spot. Brian Jones there in 10th, and Sarah Budby well up there in 11th spot. Sarah Budby leading the 125 Cup at the moment. So good points hard, just checking that. In fact, Ian Larder is the leading Cup driver, 2 places ahead of her.
25 Cup, what is that?
That's for straight line ignition and no ram air boxes. So basically sort of trying to keep it as standard as possible. So there's that.
She's doing very, very well indeed.
Yeah.
I have noticed her in the results recently.
So look at the screen again. 98 carts of Luke Clemson, so that's above his competitors in that cup. So now that's the Melbourne Luke and Chris Needham just edging slightly closer, and Andrew Connor will look to move on Moss, and it's side by side on the exit, and Chris Needham is now closer to Matt Robinson. They come into Goddard, so this will be the completion of 6 laps with just about 5 minutes to go, and Needham is noticeably closer as they cross the line. You can tuck into that slipstream, and we're going to see a move from Chris Needham as they go down towards Red 8 this time. Ducks out, up the inside, but not quite close enough. Well, Robinson hangs on to that lead, and Sam Moss just hangs on to that 3rd spot. Yes. But Moss and Connor being caught by Kirk Cattermole, who sets his personal best around, was a second quicker than the guys in front of him. So that gap to Kirk Cattermole is going to start shrinking fairly quickly, and Harpham nowhere out of the pictures. Managed to break that break on the Tim King, Ian Larder, Noel Brennan scrap.
Yes, Robinson very much aware of Needham's presence there. He was right down the middle of the road, down the start and finish straight, and then Chris got up alongside him into Red Gate.
And Needham is into the lead, so as they go through Coppice this time, so Needham got a good run out of McLean's and has taken that lead from the 4 cart, so Chris Needham takes the lead as they come onto the exhibition straight, and it's nose to tail, and Matt Robinson pulls alongside as they come into the S's, and it is side by side through the S's, and still side by side on the exit, and side by side down towards Melbourne, and it's Needham that's got the inside line, and Needham hangs on to that lead from the 4 cart of Matt Robinson, and Cattermole now up ahead of Andrew Connor, so Sam Moss has got a little bit of a breathing space, but Andrew Connor being hassled by the 5 cart of Cattermole as they come on to complete 7 laps, and it's 35 Chris Needham that leads from Matt Robinson, with Sam Moss in 3rd and Andrew Connor. Kirk Cattermole being caught by Lee Harpham, the E-cart, then a gap before we've got Tim King, Ian Larder and Noel Brennan.
Robinson back in the lead again, Ryan Redgate, but Chris Needham coming back straight at him, Gary. So he disappeared from our side, down through the Craners.
Through Craners, and yes, Needham back ahead as they go down through Craner curves and head down towards the old hairpin, side by side. Robinson on the outside, but Needham cuts across and still holds that 1st spot as they go through the old hairpin and up towards the Schwantz curve. Through the Schwantz curve, and still Needham from Robinson. Sam Moss still sitting there in that 3rd spot at the edge of Andrew Connor. Driver that time around was 32, so he's a good driver on the circuit.
36s, well, 436s have appeared now, so they're on quicker. Well, we'd expect them to get down to that, or maybe 35 at some stage if the temperature rises today.
And Robinson looking for a move up the inside into Melbourne Loop this time, and the 4 cart get through onto the inside of 35, but Chris does the cut back on the exit and takes the lead as they come up towards Goddard's this time, so this scrap is still going on with 2 minutes to go on the clock.
Here we are once again on the start and finish straight, nothing between them.
And this scrap for 3rd place is closing up nicely. We've got Sam Moss from Andrew Connor, and then Lee Harpham closing on for the 5 cart of
change the lead again, Gary.
And yes, Robinson gets that lead back through. He likes Redgate, doesn't he, John?
Yeah, they both do actually, but yeah, it's a good opportunity at the end of that straight.
But it's side by side as they go down through Craners, and
we can see them
still
on the
side by side.
Robinson
on the outside, but sweeps across and holds onto that lead through the old hairpin. So Matt Robinson got his hands full keeping that 35 cart at bay. As further back we see, I think that's Sarah Budby just ahead of the 23 cart of Clinton Bridge.
Seen by those two guys at the head of the field, you know, there's plenty of room out there and they're giving each other all the room is needed. It's very fair, it's very good to watch, and I hope they're enjoying it just as much as we are. I'm sure they are.
Certainly are, as they come along the exhibition straight this time, and it's still the 4 cart of Matt Robinson from Chris Needham. Is going to be a move into the Fogarty S's. They're momentarily out of our sight, and yes, Needham does get the move into the S's, so retakes that lead.
Swapping it a bit, but see a big corner at the moment.
And Sam Moss got a problem dropping back, so that's drops him back out third place, but Needham got a good exit out of this time, and it's now Kurt Cattermole up into third spot, so the 5 car after that horrendous start pegged them back and has come back up to third place as Lee Harper runs side by side with Andrew Connor into Goddard's, but it's Chris Needham that crosses the line to complete 9 laps, and the last lap ball I think should have got because we've got 15 seconds on the clock as Connor and Harper run side by side down towards Redgate, but the leaders through Redgate and down Crane curves, and it is still Needham that leads on this final lap.
Well, somehow or other he got 3-4 Clark lead this time. Had he a little bit in reserve, I wonder, or did Matt make a mistake? But Needham certainly had a much more healthy lead around Redgate this time. And you can watch from the old hairpin behind me on the closed circuit here.
Yep, no change to the old hairpin up through the Schwantz curve as we look at the lead. It's the 35 still of Chris Needham, but Matt Robinson right on his bumper, and there's nothing between them as they go through and up towards Coppice on this final lap.
Back with them then as they go up the hill out onto the exhibition straight in a moment or two. It'll all down to the Essays really and Melbourne.
Look to see as they come onto the exhibition straight right out of sight, and who's it going to be through that for the final time, and it is the 35, the dark cart of Needham, at 4 or 5 cart lengths from Matt Robinson, so I think it's got a big enough gap that Matt won't be able to make a lunge up the inside going into the hairpin. Perfect exit out of up to Goddard's for the final time, the checker flag being readied. But this looks like it's going to be a win for the 35 cart of Chris Corner. And the checker flag goes out, both fists off for Chris Needham, thumps the steering wheel in delight. So that's the first win for Chris for a long time. Matt Robinson gets a great second place. Kurt Cattermole, after a bad start, comes through to third. And Andrew Connor fourth ahead of Sam Moss. And I think Harper might have had a little bit of an issue on that last lap. Dropped back to 6th place. Noel Brendan just about creeps across the line for 9th place, but beaten by the 94 of Tim King and 21 Ian Larder. We look further back and it's Brian Jones gets across from Anderson Chilcott and Clint Bridge, with Sarah Budby bringing up the back of that group, so scrap there for 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th spot, but it's Chris Needham that gets the win, and a much needed over witnessing another 35 points in his championship pursuit, and with Liam Morley not scoring again, and Kurt Cattermole a good third of this championship is maybe starting to close up a little bit. We've still got rounds to go at Anglesey in September and Pembrey in October, but no means done and dusted. So I'm going to disappear the game downstairs, John.
Okay,
get a quick word and I'll leave you to see how the final finishes.
Yes, the 125 field are a very substantial 125 field, filtering their way home and providing some typical 125 coach competition, especially in that group, the 10, 11, 12, 13 group. Sarah Budby was one of the drivers following them home, who's Gary says leads the 125 Cup, and Sarah driving extremely well indeed. And it was Noel Brennan from Paddy Kilkenny going over the line, looking down at the engine as he crossed the line as if to say, what have you done to me? It looked like it just about got him home and no more. In 9th position, nevertheless, Noel, behind Ian Lauder and King and Harper and Co. Chris Needham, I say, as Gary said, Chris Needham getting perhaps much needed win. I can remember Chris running in Division 1 a season or so ago and electing now to go 125, obviously perhaps for the moment or whatever. Getting a bit of success in Matt Robinson, who had a win yesterday, coming home in second. A great race between them. They were swapping positions at most corners on the way around the circuit, and somehow just a lap or so before the end, Chris got well, about 50 yards of the lead, and that was what he held to the line. The 125s coming filtering back in down the pit lane here. And a very successful Sunday outing. We of course will be seeing them in the Grand Prix later in the day. It's all a build up towards these Grand Prix, and if anyone has anything in reserve, that's when it will appear. Waiting to hear from Gary with the drivers, once the drivers get a breath and something to lubricate them, no doubt.
So Chris, a win at last for you in the championship. You must be really pleased with that one.
Oh, very pleased, especially after the weekend start. How we started the weekend, it was pretty diabolical. So we weren't expecting much from today, but we seem to have pulled it together and we had the pace then. So we'll see how we go in the GP. Hopefully get that number 3.
Great stuff. Yeah, looking forward to Grand Prix. Your dad's won it several times. You won it in the previous years, but nice to get that back on your cart later on.
Oh, that's it. The championship's pretty much done already, so the only things left are the UK Cup and the GP, so we want one of those.
Okay, so second place for Matt Robinson. So you inherited the lead when Liam Morley dropped out, but Chris came back at you in the closing stages.
Yeah, so got away well and was trying to peg down Liam, and yeah, he had the pace in the early few laps, and then he went off and inherited the lead. Tried to break away from the pack, and Chris just had more pace. Simple as that, and couldn't break away. Chris caught me and had a good few laps battle near the end. Some good close racing, and yeah, could have been nice to take the double, but settled for P2 on this one, and yeah, a few little problems near the end, so just trying to sort them out and go for the GP later on today.
Okay, so a bad start for Kurt Cattermole, but worked his way through to finishing third spot.
Yeah, where did I drop down to?
I think it was about 9th place at one time, Kirk, so a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I got engines running too rich, and just need to jet it down for the next race and Arctic gear, and hopefully we could go again and whip some ass.